Hey, what is up guys, and this is Daily Race A for the week commencing Monday the 18th of July 2022. So this week's Daily Race A feels like it's kind of going back a bit, back to basics. It's a one-mate race around a short Lake Maggiore layout using a older model Porsche 911 GT3. So the car we're given is one that's pretty, prone to having the rear out and having a bit of a snap through the corner, getting it, a little bit sideways. Not really a beginner's car as such, but I feel like once you've kind of done a few laps, even some of the, less skilled, more casual players will find that this car's, actually okay to drive. You just have, you're going to have to kind of learn how this thing handles. Once you get on top of that, you shouldn't have really much issue with taking on this event. I only did a couple of qualifying laps and felt absolutely fine to kind of go into the race without, piling through everyone like bowling pins. So as you can see, I had a pretty poor start, losing quite a few positions and basically getting caught in the pack. But by the end of lap one, we've managed to kind of bring ourselves back up a little bit, and we're going to end up in a couple of lap battle with the 6th place here, that being Barrow Boy. We're basically just going to kind of swap positions for a couple of laps, but I am going to finally get on top of him and manage to just run away with it a little bit, and we're not really going to see him after, I believe, about lap 4 of this race. So yeah, nice little clean battle, and for me this is just when the racing's at its best, when you're kind of not either running away with it or kind of stuck at the back. Definitely when you're in your own little battles in the mid-pack, it's pretty awesome. You're kind of, watching from behind, making sure nobody's going to, kind of make a move up the inside while you're battling away. Obviously both losing a little bit of time whilst we trade positions for a few laps. So yeah, absolutely awesome couple of laps back with him. So massive thank you to Barrow Boy for making it an enjoyable race. So as you're going to see, we're coming into one of the, the tightest and most awkward corner of the track. Really awkward to really time it and get it right. If you do kind of overshoot it, you're going to either end up running into the car in front of you, or if you go a little bit too short, people are either going to hit into the back of you. A little bit of a, a bit of a crappy move down the inside there, obviously giving me a nice bump. But we're basically just going to stay in a slipstream and work our way back down the long back straight, and before another awkward corner. But I feel like we've kind of done this enough time over like GT Sport and GT7 to kind of know what to watch out for. As you can see, the rear end kicking out. From what I can tell in this race, the main key to success and getting those wins in, or getting on the podium really, is not necessarily your flat out pace. It's more about being able to control the car and basically stay out of trouble and have a clean race. You're pretty much guaranteed to work your way up then. Like you see at the start, it was a bit chaotic, and there's going to be, a few cars making some runoffs and mistakes throughout this race, and it's all about kind of just keeping it clean and taking advantage of those, as we are now up past Barrow Boy on lap 4, and we're going to try and chase after 5th place, which as you can see is Andy. Track wise, I actually think it's a great selection for this week. Using these cars with all the elevation changes and such, definitely, it's a little bit of a test, but it's not to the point where it's too ridiculous and too difficult. It's something that you can obviously learn the track layout quite easy with this car, and obviously get used to this car within, like I said, just a couple of laps. You can see the car that was just in front of Andy running wide there, so we're going to start closing up in a little bit of a pack here. I'm going to try and get down the inside, but he's got it well covered there. And then it's a bit of a run up the hill. Obviously Andy's going to be sat in the slipstream of 4th place, and I'm going to basically try and keep that slipstream as well on Andy, and hopefully both of us can kind of make our way past. It's looking like 4th place is making quite a few little errors, costing him obviously a bit of time and sort of grouping us back up. So this corner here, it's actually quite easy to get your entry quite, spot on. It's more the exit and kind of controlling that throttle. Obviously the car loving to kind of kick its own back end out. But if you do get a clean run and you manage to keep traction throughout, trust me, you're onto a winner. You seem to be able to kind of catch cars up there, and especially through this little section here, if they run it a little bit too wide and you can kind of line it up perfectly, then you'll gain, you'll start closing that gap down quite quickly. There's the rear end just kicking out a little bit there, downshifted a little bit too quick. Short shifting really does help kind of gain your traction in this car, so definitely use that to your advantage. Again, we're still trying to keep on the back of Andy, and fourth place making a mistake as well as myself, running a little bit wide. And again, it's just kind of about staying in the slipstream here, hoping I can just make another position up at least before the end of the race. Obviously coming into the last lap soon. There's fourth place running wide again, so I'm not sure what's going off there. He's ran wide about 4 times now within a 1 lap, so hopefully we're going to try and get the move done here. We're kind of just sat behind him, bit of an awkward section, but like I said, if you can line it up, you're all good, and we are going to finally make that move and get ourselves up to P5. So now again, we're trying to get, stay on the back of Andy. Obviously he got through a little bit earlier, whilst obviously I had to sit behind another car for a little bit, just basically trying to, ensure that he's not going to be too close, and try and, ensure he's not going to dive down the inside there. But yeah, we're still kind of maintaining that gap to Andy, but he's going to get a better run out, and if you get a good run out of that corner and the person behind you doesn't, trust me, you won't have to worry about them too much at all. Coming into the last corner then, and it's looking like we're not going to be able to kind of make that move and get into P4, but I am pretty impressed, with this recovery drive I've basically done after dropping back so much on that opening first couple of corners to come back P5. I am completely happy with that. So that is going to be your look at Daily Race A for this week. I must say it is enjoyable. It's kind of nice to have a non-tune-in, one-make race back on a bit of an awkward circuit with a bit of an awkward car. So that is going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers guys.